Hello everyone, I'm Emily Powers, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to paint a swan, and it's going to be, I think, an easier project, so I think beginners could probably do it. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do it with acrylic paint so that you won't miss anything. So I have all of the colors, brushes, size canvas, all that in the description, so you can just hit the little arrow right under the video across from the title, and it should drop down the description box. So I'm going to first take a spray bottle with water and spray my paint. That'll keep it wet, and I can spray the canvas so that the paint will go on better. And actually, right before I start, I did want to show what I have coming up in January. So this was our December schedule. So any of these, if you want to see them painted, they're on my channel now. And so you can just hit Emily Powers Art right below the video, and it should take you there, and you can watch those. And then these are the pictures for January. So horses, some mountains, bird's nest, and a cat. So I think those will be pretty fun. So I'll go ahead and start on this one. Okay, so this is a number 6 Filbert. It's a Princeton Summit is the series of brush, if you want to know what the exact brush is, but you don't have to have the exact one. But it's about a 1/2 inch filbert, and that just means it has a rounded tip. So I'm going to mix color for the water. So I'm going to get some white and some blue. This is Phthalo Blue. And if you don't have the exact colors I'm using, it's okay. But I mean, the mixes that I make might turn out a little different if you're not using the same colors, but it should be fine. Just certain blues look different, certain yellows look a little different, but it should be okay, just as long as you have a similar color. So I'm going to get the Phthalo Blue and burnt sienna, and I want a little bit more of the blue in it, so it kind of turns like that color there. It's kind of like a gray-ish blue, so it's kind of neutral. It's not super bright. And then I'm also going to mix another color. I should have done the darker one first so I didn't have to rinse my brush out. I don't want any white in my darker color. So I'm going to get the Phthalo Blue and burnt sienna over here and mix up a dark version, really, really dark. Alright, and it can be a little bit more bluish. Alright, so in here it's pretty light all in the middle, and then on the outer edges it's kind of darker. So I'm going to get the dark color for the edges. And you can add some water to your paint if it's not really wanting to move around. You have to add water, dip your brush in the water every once in a while to keep the brush moist, and the paint won't really want to move around if you don't do that. Now I get some of the lighter, and I'll use kind of the edge of the brush to kind of make some ripples in the water. And I can go, I don't really have to do a whole lot of detail at this point, but filling in. So I'll just say, if you enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe. I do a new video every Friday, so if you want to look at some other videos that you can paint, or maybe even just watch, you can press Emily Powers Art under the video and you can look at those. I kind of already said that when I showed the schedule for January, but alright, so I've got some lighter color. As I'm going in, I'm getting more white with it. Okay. And I'll put some darker down here. I'm kind of running out of the color, so I'll just mix some more. And if you seem to not really be able to get the exact same color, it's alright. I mean, we're going to go over a lot of it, so I'm not going to be super worried about getting the exact same color. But I mean, you can try to get it as close as you can. You definitely wouldn't want there to be like a whole lot of brown all of a sudden if you want to keep it with these blues. I mean, I don't know, maybe you would like to have some brown in the water if you want. It's kind of up to you, but you know, if I wanted to get as close to that color as I could, I wouldn't want to put a whole lot of brown in it. I would want to try to keep it more blue like I had before. And then get the lighter and blend. So I kind of have 3 different colors I'm using, like a really dark, a medium, and a light at the moment. And I'll probably actually, when I think about it, this is a lot more blue than what's in the picture, so I probably will end up going back with some like more brownish color because I don't want it that blue, but you could definitely do it this blue if you want. It would probably be really pretty. I don't know, I'll just kind of go see what I want to do as I go. I might like it this blue. Alright, so I got the whole thing covered and it's just kind of dark on the outside and it gradually gets lighter. And we'll get some more white and just cover that. And I'm going to let it dry, I think, before I do the next part. Well, actually, the parts I'll be going on next probably okay. I don't know, I'll see. And I might even end up adding a few colors than what I have here. I thought about using some different colors. So really, if I end up adding any, you really don't have to worry about it. If you look in the description, I've got what I end up using down there. So, alright. So, I think down here is dry enough I can keep going. So I'm going to get the blue and burnt sienna. And I picked up a little bit of yellow on accident, but it's alright. And I'll get some deep magenta and change the color slightly. And I can scoop it up and then kind of put it all in one area so it won't dry as fast. And then I'll try to get some white, and it's actually really close to what we already had. Get some more pink. Some burnt sienna. Sorry about that noise. It's my cat and our cat tower back there. I think I want to get out one of my other colors that I wasn't sure if I was going to use. I'm going to get burnt umber. So it's a different brown. I'm going to try to mix some with that and see if it gets more what I want. That's probably good. I don't know. It's not really the color in the picture, but I think if we brighten it up, it'll still look good. Alright, so I'm going to take this Phthalo Blue burnt umber mixture, so the blue and the burnt umber that we just put out, and I'll go with the brush on the side and just kind of flick and get a little bit of that other color. I can just kind of use both of them. I think it's okay. We'll see what happens if we do a brighter color. Alright, so I'll put the darker and then get some lighter color. Get a little bit more of the phthalo blue. Make it a little bit more blue than that like green color. I'm just going to go back and forth putting this in. So now I'm getting more of the Phthalo Blue and burnt sienna mixture. Some dark here. Alright, and I'm just gonna kind of flick this to my brush in here. So really I'm just laying down darker and lighter and kind of putting lines in the paint is pretty much what I'm doing. Get some white, make it a lot lighter. And can go in here. So yeah, so far it's pretty easy. I'm just going with different, you know, light and dark and flicking them in. And in here is pretty dark, so I'm going to leave it pretty dark down there. Get some of this middle color to put in here. Since it's pretty light, the middle color will kind of work for our dark. Just put that in. All right. And every once in a while, kind of get some of that. And I mean, you can leave it out, but that was some of the Phthalo Blue, burnt sienna, white, and some magenta. Okay. Phthalo Blue and burnt umber. You could probably do this with ultramarine blue too. It would just turn out a little different color. Make it a little different. I was actually going to do that and then I changed my mind. Oops. Just drop it. Alright. And getting some of the lighter, kind of middle color. And if you didn't have a rounded tip brush, you could probably use a flat brush. So if you didn't have one like this, you could use one, you know, that's got a flat edge instead of a rounded, but it might make the brush strokes look a little different. But I mean, if that's all you got, you can still do it. Alright. So just by going back and forth, that'll kind of make it easier to be able to paint this. Alright, and I'm getting a lot of white with it now. And I'm going in here in the middle and putting some brush strokes. Make it lighter, but you still have some darker under, so it won't just be kind of one color, it'll give it depth when you put some darker in there. Because really it's not solid, it does have other colors in there too. Flick in some over here. So yeah, you can use whatever colors or brushes you like. It doesn't have to be just like mine. Put some back over here. And get a little bit of water. And there's like a reflection from the swan, where he is, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that right now. Just go back once we have the swan in. Alright, I'm gonna rinse that out. And get some more white with it. So I got just mainly white has a little bit of blues for my brush, but just do really bright. And just go and make this section brighter. Okay, so I think it's pretty good. It's not exactly like the picture, but looks pretty good. Especially, it's pretty easy too, so I think that's good. Alright. So, I think I'm going to let it dry so that we can, well, actually, I keep saying that I'm going to dry it. It seems like, and I don't. I'm going to try to, I don't have that white, I'm going to try to make a really dark, get the Phthalo Blue and Burnt Umber. Really dark. I got a little bit more brown, looks like. And just make it really dark and go in there. Make certain parts in the water really, really dark. So yes, I actually have more brown this time. You could do it more blue, but it's so dark. Either way, it'd probably be fine. I got a little bit into that white too far, so I'll probably go back and cover that. Alright, rinse that out and get more of that white. So the other paint underneath is pretty dry now. If you are going over a spot and your paint is in the middle of drying and it kind of starts making a funky spot and you don't really know exactly what's happening, it seems like you can see the canvas, you know, there's a funky spot on your canvas when you're going over it, it's probably that the paint's drying and it's lifting off of the canvas. So if you have that happen, just let it dry and then go back over it once it's dry. And I didn't really have a problem with it this time, so that's good. All right. All right, so I think, oops, I got some color on there from my finger. Go back. All right, so it's kind of a funky spot there because all right. Okay, so I think I'm going to let that dry now. This time I'm actually going to let it dry, I think. And then we can draw the swan in and paint him. Alright, so it's dry now, except for maybe a spot right there where I had it paint pretty watered down in the edges, but this part where we're actually going to be working is good. So you can let it air dry, or you can use like a hair dryer to speed it up. So I'm going to get, I can find it here. Here you go. My black Scriball pencil. So it's a water soluble pencil, which is nice so that in case you make any mistakes or you want to change something, you can take a damp towel or rag, paper towel, something like that, and wipe it off. So these are nice in case you want to change things. So for where it is sitting on the water, I'm going to see where my half mark is, like right in here. And then if I mark where the quarter is, so I split it in half and split it in half again, it's going to be somewhere in there. Yeah, kind of like in the middle. I'm going to put it kind of in the middle, those two. So here, here, right? So I'm going to kind of go to the line, and to see where it's going to stop, I'm going to say, I'm going to do it about, I'm going to do it in the half this way, split it in half again, and then kind of right in here. Here's where I'm going to stop it. So slope it up, and the neck is going to kind of start coming up there. And then where the tail ends, I'm going to do, oops. Alright, so I'm going to go in half, half again, and this is going to be kind of where I want it to, the majority, it's going to stop around this this mark, but then it's got just got a little bit of the tail. It's going to stick out. And come back up. And then there's like a, so it goes out and then this way. And there's another section that comes up here. And then a piece of the wing comes like here. So about just a little bit apart from where that body ends, I'm going to start the wing. Do it in kind of two pieces. There's kind of like a piece here and a piece here. And another little part right there. So it's kind of hard to see. You could skip to the end when I already have the swan in and kind of see where the different sections of the wings are. Might be a little bit easier to see. And then I'm going to mark up, and the head I'm going to stop about, if I mark half, 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 so the 8th mark, I'm going to come a little bit below that. A little bit below the 8th mark. So you split it in half, half again on this top part, half again, and then just a little bit below that mark. So I'm going to do the head, and I'm going to mark, Alright, so this point that we marked is where the neck's going to go, and it's going to kind of go slightly slant to the right a little bit. And then another piece here, kind of, I'm going to curve it slightly. And then kind of go around where the head's going to be. And then I'm going to bring this part over and kind of point it down where the beak's going to go. And then this part, I'm going to, it's like a piece that's right above the nose or the beak. I don't really know exactly what that is, but part of his head. And I'm going to put the beak down like that. Alright, and we might adjust it a little bit more as we go. It feels kind of like the, oh, I didn't mark where I wanted the top of the wings to go. It's probably why it's looking a little funny. So, well, I don't know, that might be okay. If this is the neck, the wings, I'm going to mark, make them go higher up to be higher. Alright. That's better. And I don't really like where the neck is. It seems like it's not really in the right spot. So I'm going over, like I said, dipping my rag in the water and wiping it off. So if you're using just like a regular pencil, you couldn't do that. So I'm gonna go and that's better, it looks like. Change that. So you can really adjust the drawing just by wiping off the marks that we did. And the beak kind of comes up like that. And there's the eye. Alright, so I think there's something about this beak I don't like. Sometimes I think the drawing looks a little funny, even if you've got it as close as you can get it. And you just gotta paint it in before you really like it. That's what happens with me sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, ugh, this is not a good drawing. And then once I actually paint it in, then it doesn't look so bad. Alright, it's not so sloped. It's like that. I'm kind of taking a while on the drawing, but you want to take your time with when you're drawing it, because this is the time you want to change it if you're going to change anything. So, alright, that's pretty good. So just kind of round the neck out and back a little bit, back, and then I told you where the head needs to go. So before you get to that part, you're going to slope down, and then this piece kind of goes back right a little bit, right, and then around, kind of comes in, and then down to the beak. And I'll do the face, all the different shapes in the face later. Alright, and so I'm gonna grab number 8 Princeton Select Filbert, and so it's a little smaller, and I'm going to grab, oh, I didn't get any white out. The white, and I'll get a little bit of this gray color. So that was, I think it was Phthalo Blue, Burnt Sienna, and Deep Magenta. Kind of made a gray. And yeah, that pink to it does that. Alright, and I'm not going to worry too much about the different colors in him. I'm just going to fill it in and maybe change the colors just slightly as I go. I'll get some white and some phthalo blue and make a light blue for the tip of that wing. Change it and get that gray. Alright, and then I'll do this. There's a little bit of yellow-ish color. It's turning it green. Let's sit out a little bit. Put some yellow under there. Get a little bit of burnt umber. Make it a little bit darker. And I'll put that under here so we'll know where the different wings are and stuff. A little bit of blue there. I get some of this darker color for the tail, kind of underneath here. I'll just go ahead and paint in the rest with this color, even if it's not the exact color it's going to end up being. I'll just paint it. Actually, I'll do the left side. I'm going to get some of that yellow for the right side. I said I was going to just paint over the whole thing, but I think I'm going to yellow this side. I guess that kind of shows how often you can change your mind when you're painting something. You think you're going to do it one way and then you do it another. I'll get some yellow and some burnt umber. And I don't know if you can see that. That's the color. Yellow and burnt umber. Put it in here. And it's mixing with the pencil that I have, so it's changing the color, be even darker. I'll zoom in some so you can see it closer. Alright, and now for the smaller details, I'm going to get a number 1 round. It's Princeton Velvetouch. And I'm going to get the yellow. This is where I was thinking I might have to pull out an orange if this doesn't look the way I want. But yellow and burnt sienna. And make like an orange, and then I'm going to get some white with it. Alright, and I'll do put some right up there. Okay, so you got the beak, and then I'm going to get some Phthalo Blue and burnt umber and make a dark color for the black on his head. So let's see, it goes around. Let's see, I'm gonna get the Swan color. Put that down there. Alright, so it's a little funny now, and I'm going to take the chalk off when it dries. I need to work on the head more. That's probably going to be the hardest part, is the head. Getting the head to look right, so I'm going to get my damp paper towel again and wipe off chalk. Just try not to wipe off your paint. And if the paint's still really wet, you don't want to do that. Just wait until it's dry. And the paint might even come off a little bit when it's dry because it hasn't fully dried. Like you might have to take 24 hours for it to really dry completely. Alright. So, while that head's drying, I'm going to work more on the body. So, you zoom back out. Okay, so I'm going to get some white. And I clean my palette off from all the older colors, and I'm going to get a little bit of Phthalo Blue and burnt Sienna and a little bit of the Magenta to make it like a gray color. A little like a bluish gray, and then get some burnt umber, get a little brown, alright, and just mix those colors again and make it a little darker. And we can kind of make some indication of kind of some streaks of different colors. And the darker for that part at the bottom. And wipe that off and get some white and just a little bit of blue, and do that blue color near the top. So kind of changing it from blue to gray, different spots. And then I'm going to get some yellow, and the other colors are going to kind of make it a lot more neutral. And get some brown, and right in here get some of that yellow and the gray. Change the color right there at the tip. And right here, and put some yellow here too. And get some of that blue. And some of that in here too. Alright, and right about in here, I'll kind of make it go up some on that part of the wing. Put some gray back here. Get some of the yellow and burnt sienna. Kind of change it to like an orangey color. And then get more of the yellow. And just kind of put some of that up under there. And some blue. I'm really just going back over again this point and changing a few things just a little bit. Got a little bit of blue. And I'll mix the dark with the blue and the burnt umber for this part. So I'll make the tail dark on this bottom. Alright, and then I'll go back and I'll put my brighter colors on there. Actually, before that though, before I go too much farther, I'm going to get the white and I'm going to go over this again. Now it's dry. I'm not going to pick up any blue. Go over and do the white so that any dark parts, any parts of the swan that are kind of darker will stand out against the white. I'm not going to really worry about going over it. I'm just going to make sure I got the background the way I want it first. Okay. Alright, now I'll get that white and put some white along that wing. So I'm putting it along the edge, putting that white along the edge so that it'll stand out more. You can kind of see where the end of the wing is, and and kind of pull it towards us. And now I'm gonna get this white with the grays and make like a lighter gray. Put that in here. Just gently brushing over. And actually we're going to put some here on the tail. Just a few spots. And now for the head, I'm going to get some of the yellow, or the neck I mean, the yellow and some of the burnt umber, but it's got a lot of white. And I'm going to go up against the neck is. Let's see, I went over a little bit too far. Alright, and then we'll get this color, the magenta, the blue, and the burnt sienna. Make like it's kind of like a gray that's got a little bit of like a pink color, pink or purple color in it. And put that in here and kind of blend it in. Alright, and then while I have that color, I'm going to get some yellow and burnt sienna and kind of make it have a little bit of orange. And I'm going to put that on the face and go over in here. Alright, and I want to get some blue with this white, and I want to have a little bit more blue here on the wing. A little bit of brighter blue, and we could go back with the gray and just kind of back. All right. Got some white. Put it in there. Alright, now for the face, I'll zoom in. Let's see, my canvas is stuck. Alright. Move it over. There we go. Okay, so you can see the face better. And I'll get my small round again. And I'm going to get the Phthalo Blue and burnt umber. Make it really dark. And we'll do Alright, I'm going to get some of the light gray we were just using on the wing and put some around where that eye is going to go. Wipe it off my brush and just kind of squish it around. Maybe get some of the other brownish color we had. And just tap it in. And then we'll get the dark, like blackish color. Alright. Oops. Alright, and then for the beak, I'm going to get the yellow and burnt sienna and a little bit of white again, since I don't have it exactly where I want it. Alright, and the black. Okay, and I'll get some of the gray we used around the face and man, I always get water on my brush handle and too much water in my paint and stuff. Alright. And just kind of brighten it up a little bit. And get a little bit of that gray color too. Okay. And now I'll get some more burnt sienna and put that on the tip of the beak. Make the tip darker. And then get some with that yellow again. Only if you ever get it where you like it and I keep going, you can always stop. You don't have to keep going if you like it. Alright. That's pretty good, and you can't really tell exactly where the eye is. I'm actually going to get some of that because it's just kind of black right there. It's not really anything else. And I'm going to get some of that color and kind of change the shape of his head a little bit. The gray. Alright, and then we'll get the black and change this. Get a little bit of white and go change that again. And if you get a little bit of a different color, you can just put some of that other color in the water. You're going to do this part. So I'm just putting a little bit of it in other places so it doesn't look funny. Alright. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. Alright. I do want to work on the water a little bit more though. So I'm going to get the dark color that we use for the face. Mix that up again. Phthalo Blue and Burnt Umber. And right up against the Swan, I'm going to put it really dark. And put some down coming closer to us, and then I'll get a little bit of the magenta. Put some of that. So it gets I want it really dark up next to the Swan, and then we're going to have some for where the head is, or the neck. I keep calling it the head. It's the neck. And we'll just put some dark. Here's some of the magenta mixture and some of the bluish mixture. And I wipe that off. Get some of this gray. I'm going to get a little bit of the lighter and put some of it in the dark. So you don't want it super bright, but I will put a little bit in there. And behind the swan is dark too, so. Okay, and keep some dark color. Okay, and then there's some like parts in the water that are sparkly, so I'm going to get my small round and get some white and a little bit of pink, just a little bit, and a little bit of yellow, make a really pretty light, like peach color. And wherever I want one of these sparkly things, I'll just kind of squiggle in some of that. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. A little bit more pink and yellow. And I'll just kind of tap some in here. Okay. Now I'll get the white and just put dots where I want these little sparklies for the water. It doesn't look exactly like the picture, but it'll be easier for beginners to just do some dots. And put a few dots back in here. And there's lots of them back here, so I'm just going to tap. Let's make lots of dots back here. And you don't have to do that if you don't want. You can leave it out if you don't like it. There's almost so many that they kind of all run together. And I'll get a little bit of yellow and pink and around some of them, just kind of go around them. And I will get some water with that color, and we can put some of the orangey color in the water. And get the white. All right. And some water, dark. I'm going to put this dark back right up against the Swan and give it another layer of that darkness. And I don't know if that's like a foot or something right there. Alright. I think it looks pretty good. I will get some of the dark with the Phthalo Blue and Burnt Umber. And just do some small little brush strokes of dark in here. So you can really just kind of play with it until you like it. Okay, you can go back with some white and just kind of not super obvious. Okay. And now I'll take the chalk off. Not the chalk, the pencil lines. Okay. And it kind of rubbed off a little bit of the paint, so I'll just put that back. Okay, that's pretty good. See if I can take the chalk off. I'm rubbing it off. Okay. Well, I think it's pretty good. I'm basically just doing the last few things on it. Okay. So it looks like kind of like there's still the pencil, but I don't want to mess with it because it's not really wanting to come off very easily, and the paint wants to come off instead. So I just don't worry about that too much. Alright, and just do one more thing, just get some of this gray. Alright, I think that's good. So I'm gonna sign it now with my Faber-Castell Bit Artist pen. And it's a little different than the black ones I use, but you could probably use, you can use paint, or this is just a white one and it's got a brush end. But you kind of have to go over the name several times because it doesn't show up very well with this pen. You go over it like 3 times for me to be able to see it real good. Alright. So, there you go. And that's how you can paint that swan. It's pretty easy. I mean, the water is super easy, I'd say. I mean, I don't know, it might be a little hard if you've never painted before, but after you've done a few paintings, I don't think this would be too hard. And then you can also see with the, after it's put in where I was drawing, it's kind of hard to see before where I was drawing. There's a little patch of dark right here that I didn't fill in. Alright, there we go. It's better. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. I showed this at the beginning, but this is the schedule for December. So they're all out now. You can watch how to paint them. And then this is going to be January's. So we got some really fun ones that we're going to do, it looks like. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope you try painting it. Thanks for watching. Bye.